When you look in the mirror, what do you see? The flaws hidden in the reflection are the parts of your body you still despise, the ones that make you sigh in frustration. But hey, have you ever looked in the mirror to love yourself? Have you ever stood before it just to gaze, to hold, and to soothe the child within you? Through the podcast episode, Why Is That So?, Helios hopes to give you a bit more faith that each of us is a one-of-a-kind soul with shimmering insecurities. Now, let's get this podcast episode started. Let's go. What have children who don't look conventionally beautiful gone through? A little girl has a large birthmark on her face, spreading across her eye and down her cheek. She has always seen it as a stain, a source of torment, a lifelong curse she must bear. It feels like every ugly thing chose her to fall upon. Her eyes are single-lidded, and the birthmark even spreads into the white of her eye, making her look like a distorted monster. Her eyes are two different colors, her mouth is protruding, her skin is dark. The kids in her class didn't play with her. They called her the witch. The boys saw her as some alien monster, while the girls looked at her with pity in their eyes. That might still sound somewhat bearable until the older students at school started tearing up her homework, shoving her head into a sink, or forcing her to kneel and apologize just because. It's your fault for being so ugly. It hurts my eyes. No matter how much she cried or how silent she stayed, she still had to endure the torment. The discrimination got even worse when a teacher at school made a casual joke. Why does someone with such a pretty name? Then he even threatened to punish kids who weren't paying attention by making them sit next to her so they'd stop talking. This boy was also judged for the way he looked. The first thing that hits people when they see his face is that nose. Wide, flat, red, and bumpy like the skin of a bitter orange. His pupils seem to bulge slightly, as if they're about to drop out at any moment. His thick lips jut out like the mouth of a catfish. Looking at him as a whole, there's something about him that feels like it's swelling up, like something's on the verge of bursting out. You just don't know when it'll happen. The first time he became aware of this ugliness was back in elementary school. When a teacher was assigning seats next to a very handsome boy, she accidentally called him by the wrong name, mistaking him for that boy. The whole class burst into mocking laughter. He clearly heard someone sneer. How could anyone confuse an angel with a pig-faced kid? He clenched his fists and crushed his notebook. He hated the girls who made fun of him, hated that cruel, sharp-tongued kid, hated the teacher, hated the good-looking boy. A fire burned inside him, furious and helpless. He hated himself. He smashed every mirror in the house. He screamed at his parents. "It's all your fault. Why did you even have me? Why am I this ugly and miserable?" Well, his parents just stayed silent, not knowing what else to do. In their crumbling house, even putting together 3 meals a day was a struggle. His parents had spent their whole lives bowing their heads, their whole lives filled with shame. Other than staying quiet, they had no idea how to give something to their youngest child that they themselves had never had. So how did children who didn't look conventionally beautiful grow up? A few people told the little girl, "Just try a little harder." As long as she studied really hard, people would stop bullying her. They would respect her more. If she didn't have beauty, then she had to have knowledge. So she threw herself into her studies, studying like crazy. There were nights she studied while crying, too afraid to rest because she feared the bullying would continue. She treated studying like a major surgery for herself. She let the bullies copy her work. They realized how useful she was, so they eased up and left her alone. Sure, they were no longer a nightmare to her, but that ugly appearance was still there. People still shunned the witch. Oh my, once you're ugly, there's no way to stop being ugly. No matter how much you try to groom yourself, it only makes you a little less ugly. Then people still point and say, that one used to be as ugly as a ghost. Now at least they're better. She didn't dare get close to anyone or dare to like anyone. She always doubted the polite compliments from those people. Once labeled ugly, a person no longer dares to believe they have any appeal. She saw the insincerity in every word spoken around her. She was frustrated, wondering why, even after trying so hard to improve, she still couldn't change their scornful and dismissive attitudes. Life isn't like the movies. The ones who used to bully you don't suddenly admire you when you succeed. In reality, it's the opposite. The more successful you are, the more they hate you. They'll never acknowledge how talented you are. To them, your success is just luck, connections, or maybe fate taking pity on your ugly looks and throwing you a little blessing to make up for it. After lashing out at his parents, this boy decided to stop going to school. He went into the city to look for a job. Life isn't easy for those without good looks. After a tough search, he managed to land a job carrying heavy loads. His coworkers were also laborers, grinding away just to earn enough for a bowl of rice for themselves and the mouths they had to feed at home. He and they were just people trying to survive. They didn't care about appearances or the harsh features on his face. Leaving his parents behind and stepping into a new chapter of life, he met more people who only knew how to bow their heads. He had never known what it felt like to walk with his head held high. His shoulders stayed hunched, his head always down, his face stained with dust and dirt. He felt like his life was nothing more than trash. He longed for something called love. But maybe, in this day and age, love wasn't meant for those who were ugly. He laughed at his own fate. Maybe even someone like Thee No wouldn't love him now. His luck was worse than Chief Fayo's. Maybe he was born in the wrong era, into the wrong family, living in the wrong community. Yeah, that's it. He was living in a society where everyone cared about looks. Does appearance matter? Yes, it matters a lot. People who aren't good looking often hear comforting lines like, "What's inside counts more than what's outside." Or preachy sayings like, "If you've got talent, you'll shine bright on your own," like the saying, "Good scent spreads naturally." Or simply, "It's okay, don't worry. At least you have a beautiful soul." After hearing that, he could only force a smile, feeling the pity behind every comforting word, feeling a deep sorrow for himself. When he said looks don't matter, it was because he didn't truly understand how much ugliness could affect a person. Many people who aren't physically attractive, instead of drowning in sadness from the ridicule, hold their heads high and confidently dress in dazzling outfits, hoping to cover up their flaws in the eyes of the world. And yet, they still silently endured the pain of feeling ashamed and mistreated, wounds no one could see, because people told them, ugly and still trying to show off, or ugly and desperate for attention. There were also those who worked themselves to the bone, saving every penny just to afford a place on the operating table at some cosmetic clinic, enduring cuts that hurt to the bone with one single hope, that people would finally stop talking about how they looked. So what? People still threw harsh words like, "What's so great about artificial beauty? Natural ugly is still better." And there were many women, even after getting married, who still weren't left alone. People gossiped, mocked, or offered backhanded compliments. "That guy must be really noble," or "That ugly girl sure is lucky." Some even made things up, saying, "She probably cast a spell on him. No one's that dumb for no reason." Stop if you've ever hurt someone with insults or judgments about their appearance. Everyone in this life is struggling every single day just to get by. So take care of your own life first. Don't make someone else's life harder. There's a thin line between making an observation and being discriminatory. Be careful with your words because you never know how deeply someone might break from just one of your jokes. What crime have children who aren't good-looking committed? People still say being ugly is a crime, but it's not a crime punishable by law, not one written in any legal document. It's a crime created by a crowd obsessed with attractive appearances. It's not a crime of wrongdoing, but a crime of pity. We don't get to choose our appearance. Children who aren't good-looking haven't committed any crime at all. The fault lies with society. The guilt belongs to those with ugly hearts, the ones who only know how to spit out cruel words. But those children would also be at fault if they let themselves be destroyed by that cruelty. They would be at fault if they neglected or harmed their own bodies. They would be at fault if they never learned to love and accept their flaws. What does it mean to love and accept yourself? Self-love is a phrase we're all familiar with today. It's an optimistic, joyful attitude toward life, carrying positive feelings that build confidence and allow you to see yourself as beautiful in your own natural form. From this grew the body positivity movement with slogans like, "Be satisfied with yourself." Your body is always beautiful unconditionally, so you don't need to try to change yourself. This movement helps you practice self-love affirmations, repeating mantras like, "I am beautiful," "I love myself," or "I love my body," until they become reality. But unintentionally, this creates pressure that we must be satisfied with ourselves. Everyone naturally has aspects of their body they're not satisfied with. However, you can't force yourself to find love that isn't there. Is that really what true self-love means? If you keep repeating positive affirmations that you don't truly believe, your inner self will reject them. In the end, it can backfire and make you even more troubled about your body. So, is there a better approach than the body positivity movement? The answer is yes. In the year 2015, the concept of body neutrality gained widespread acceptance. It promotes a neutral stance, neither worshiping nor hating your body. This perspective focuses more on what your body can do rather than how it looks. For example, you might appreciate your legs because they support your body while still choosing to work out to make them stronger. Wanting a balanced body isn't about wanting others to see you as beautiful. It's because you'll feel more agile and healthy. Or maybe you want to be a bit fuller because you know that being too skinny leaves you without the strength to do the things you love. This movement focuses on what a certain body shape can do for you, rather than how it looks in other people's eyes. In other words, it minimizes as much negativity toward the body as possible, helping us avoid both harsh self-criticism and extreme efforts to change ourselves, as well as neglecting our well-being. It's about understanding our bodies. The journey from "I hate my body" to "I love my body" is filled with pressure and tears. I still don't love these squinty eyes, this buck-toothed smile, or these rough hands. Instead, I feel compassion for them, and I know the best thing I can do is to work on changing what I can. There's only one kind of fairness in this life. It's that unfairness happens to everyone. If you're beautiful, you're lucky. And if you're not, that's not your fault. I've come to understand that I'm not as unattractive as I once believed. I just didn't love myself enough back then.